You call that radio?
Makes coherent sense.
Good evening. It's You Call That Radio TV, and tonight we have a very special episode because we're going to speak to four amazing artists of very different genres, and we are going to find out what's it like to release music in the year 2023, and is it any different from what it was like before March 2020 when the world changed forever. And to do that, first of all, we've got the brilliant Brownbear, who is live, who has been on an incredible campaign just now with the new album Demons. And I just heard, just breaking news, it is very close to selling out St Luke's on Friday.
Yeah, we've got my headline show at St Luke's in Glasgow on Friday, and we're about 100 tickets from a sellout, so that's just crazy. And we're doing it, but like everything, we're doing it self-promoted, like we do everything independently. So if you're listening and you live in Glasgow, come along, get us over the line. We're going to do it. This is live music in the year 2023.
Live music in the year 2023, and it's not. I don't know why I put words in with it. It seems like it's not as easy as nothing's as easy as it once was. Is the impression I get.
No, it's not, and it's stressful because there's like a kind of rule now that tickets sell the week of or the day before or the day of a gig, and that's not to be scared. And before you were like, okay, we know in advance how many you're getting, and people didn't really buy on the door on the day, and now it's like almost always on the day. And I guess it's because there's been so many cancellations and restrictions that folk think, well, they've gotten used to that system. So I think a lot's changed. Definitely, and even the first run of shows we had back in front of a crowd, they felt very different than before. People were very reserved, and yeah,
it wasn't quite the party that we predicted. It was, I think people were still so, and I think we can go. Can you hear us this time? With a wee...
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, amazing.
Yeah. Okay.
So Brownbear is just releasing an album called we released an album called Demons on Friday night there, and it's going to get launched this Friday night in Glasgow at the brilliant St Luke's venue. What about yourself? What's the can you tell us a little bit about the project that you're working on just now?
So I've recently released an EP, my first EP called Goddess Unwilling. It's all self-produced, and it's the first time I've released something this big by myself. And that's it. I'm just working on gigging up now, playing the EP live, that sort of thing.
Amazing. And have you noticed any differences? So I suppose the sort of big question that we're sort of thinking about today is it's actually almost 3 days. I think it's 3 years tomorrow since day one of lockdown. Have you noticed any differences in well, maybe not releasing music, just saying this is the first main one, but the performing music or anything like that? Has there been any changes from your perspective?
Well, I had released music with a band before, even though it wasn't self-produced, so it's the first time I've released it on my own. But I have noticed in releasing it, there was that initial really supportive period where everyone was just really supportive of each other, being creative. But I feel like we've been out of it long enough now that there's kind of a lull. So now we're just in this weird in-between state where people are still supportive, but there's less of that rush of excitement going, oh my God, music, anything. And now the bar's kind of been set even higher, I feel.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Well, I've actually got, I made like we've got Alex Reid joining us, who some people will know from Big Fat Panda, but she's made an amazing solo EP as well. She's going to be joining us. And I believe Steg G, who's also got an album called Demons, which came out on the exact same day as Brownbear's album called Demons, which is just a million to one shot. Amazing. So we're going to go and we'll be speaking to them in a wee bit as well. But I went to a great effort to make some visuals. So let's see what the visuals say.
You call that radio, more like a TV show.
So this is kind of like the main point of just asking about the social media thing is to see if we can get any tips off of each other for using social media, and also just to plug your own social medias as well. It seems to be a common thread that I've noticed that people tend to pick one or two that they're very active on, and they just don't have time for the rest, or just don't use the rest at all. Let's start with you, Matt. What would you say? What social media are you using at the moment?
I think Instagram and Twitter are really key for us, but we still have Facebook, and it's a different market. And I think that's one thing I try and instill in artists when they're chatting to me is like every media can be a different market and can be used differently. My Twitter's a bit different from Instagram at times. Facebook's kind of just like a sum up of both. So, but that's obviously a lot of work doing that. But I'm not like a social media type person. I think like I've been terrible. This release is shocking. I haven't really done a mailing this thing. That's outrageous. But I've been trying to build that and start the process of doing that, because I think everyone has to use social media relevant to their artist output. So like, I don't think I would be a suitable artist for some social medias. So I don't even engage with them. Where some people would make the wrong decision and they try and engage with them all, and it just doesn't work.
Well, I think a good point that you made there was the fact that it's a very different world from Twitter than Facebook, and it is different demographics that's happening there. And that's why I would always encourage anyone who's maybe, I mean, obviously there's a lot of tools nowadays where you can just type one thing and it'll post it on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all at the same time. But they tend to not look as good, and it's different people are going to react differently to it as well. Mm-hmm. So I think it does make sense if you are going to use different ones to make it specific to Twitter or make it specific to Instagram or whatever as well. What about yourself? What do you think?
I am pretty terrible at social media. I hate selling myself in general. I just wish that I could appear at any available gig slot, play, and then disappear. But that's not the world we live in. Definitely not after the pandemic as well. We've all become really, we're just online. We are online. We were already online before the pandemic, and now we're definitely online. So I mainly use Instagram, and I've started using TikTok because a friend of mine just said, "What are you doing? Make a sound on TikTok and go viral." I said, "Okay, I'll try." So I've only recently started to navigate the world of TikTok.
So I've fun. Not hands up. I've not
I do use
tried
Facebook
TikTok
as
yet.
Well, but it's.
Sorry, I interrupted you there by mistake. I think it's a wee bit of a delay. So we've got. There is a slight delay. Sorry, I'm not interrupting you. It's just I think that I'm stopping talking and you're starting to talk.
Yeah, TikTok is a bit of a lawless state, if you like. It's just.
I think there's a little bit of an internet connection problem there. Let's just go to the comments. Trips, we've got Petra in the house, we've got Rebecca Radico in the house, we've got Ali Grant in the house, we've got Jigsaw Tiger in the house, we've got Lou Rogerson, hello everyone, CJ McQuinn's in the house.
TikTok's a bunch of fun. I recommend trying it out, if for anything, just for fun.
Yeah, it's I think TikTok is. I feel like I've missed the boat on TikTok already, but it's not going away. It's not. It doesn't seem to be just a flash in the pan. It's. Have you used it yet, Matt? Are you?
Absolutely not.
No.
No, man. I just to me, it's like if your engagement with someone is like 15 to 60 seconds. You'll never be able to sell them 3 minutes 30. So it's like a redundant market for actual songs. It's like great for people who are writing flash in the pan bullshit, who the whole point of it is they don't really want anything more than that like 30-second thing. I don't think it can transfer past that, and I don't think it has. I've known a lot of people who work with artists who've gone viral on TikTok, and their music post TikTok is flopped because no one's invested. It's an algorithm. So I think it's great for marketing tools. I think it's great for labels. I think it's great for like that flash in the pan type artist. I think if you're doing something where you need proper connection, I don't know how it works. I see a lot of artists on it who are musicians, but when they post on TikTok, they're doing jokes, or they're like packing Tupperware, or they're doing everything but music. It doesn't feel
what are they doing with the Tupperware?
I don't know. They put things in Tupperware boxes and store it in their cover. I don't use TikTok. I've just seen other people showing me.
I don't know about the Tupperware trend. I know that there's dancing. Have you ever thought about a dance?
I mean, if somebody wants to create a dance and keep sharing my music through TikTok, they should.
Well,
But I
do you
won't
know
be
what?
there.
Perfectly timed on that. We'll actually play one of your songs, and if anybody, I see Sky's joined the comments. Well, hi Sky. If any of you guys, there's a lot of legends in the house. Maybe someone can write a dance. Sorry,
Dance
choreography a dance. Choreography. Eyes. Choreography, eyes, a dance.
Choreograph.
Choreograph a dance, yes. Sorry. Thank you very much. So we're going to play the song. This is a Close Call off the new album Demons. And do you want to just give us a wee introduction before I play it?
Yeah, this is Close Call. It was the first single from the album, and this video was a lot of fun to make. It was one of my first directing, and yeah, the cast were amazing, and it was just a lot of fun to make this video. We've shot some of it at Room 2 as well, so it's a great independent venue getting featured as well. So hope you enjoy the song and the video.
Amazing.
Next time it's a rainy day, make sure that you call. Dust off all your records and bring the whole collection. I'll sing your favorite songs. It's the last chance for you and I. Our paths won't cross again, 'cause we're both getting older. Our time is getting slower. The record's broken again. I'll keep falling, but you're not bothered. Tell yourself that nobody here's to blame, but you're the one that said you don't feel the same. Life's not easy when you're playing games. You stopped and stalled another close call, or so you claim. Looks like you're back again. We're starting from square one. I give it half an hour before it turns sour. You're back, you're back till you run. I'll keep calling, but you're not bothered. Tell yourself that nobody here's to blame, but you're the one that said you don't feel the same. Life's not easy when you're playing games. You stopped and stalled another close call, or so you claim. It's been a long time coming, it's make or break. It's been a long time coming, it's make or break. It's been a long time coming, it's make or break. It's been a long time coming for short-term lovers. It's been a long time coming, it's make or break. It's been a long time coming, it's make or break. It's been a long time coming, it's make or break. It's been a long time coming for short-term lovers. Tell yourself that nobody is to blame, but you're the one that said you don't feel the same. Life's not easy when you're playing games. You stopped and stalled another close call, or so you claim. It's been a long time, it's been a long time, it's been a long time, it's been a long time coming, it's make or break.
Call That Radio TV, and we are live for a 2020 to 2023. What's the differences with releasing music? Is there any differences? how can we release music better, and what works, what doesn't. That was just an amazing track from Brownbear's new album, which is out now on all the streaming platforms. Is it? Is there any that you don't like? Obviously, you don't like TikTok. You've made that very clear.
Yeah.
Which is also, and I, as someone that doesn't use TikTok as well, I just don't use it because I don't think that it would work for me. But are we both being ignorant to the potential here? Just because we don't use it, we don't like it? Because I'm worried that might be the case.
I probably am realizing that I'm the dinosaur now. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the next. Sorry, what would you say? Sorry.
I do think it's worth trying it out as a musician, even though so you can make longer videos, but you are right, there is a draw to the shorter videos, so the shorter attention span and flash in the pan sort of things, and lots of trends. But actually there is starting to be a bit more of I guess a rising, if you like, of artists using it to actually have short creative bursts which draw a lot of people in, and a lot of musicians actually have quite a lot of success on TikTok.
And I've seen lots of people as well that I know that are in the kind of podcast sphere doing live chats on TikTok as well, which is apparently getting lots of viewers in as well. So yeah, it's definitely one to think about. What about the length of a song? Because I've been hearing a trend now, it's especially prevalent in the hip hop, which I love hip hop, and it seems to be that people are almost deliberately making songs that are a minute long or 2 minutes long, just to get more plays on Spotify. Does that even cross your mind when you're making a song?
It's certainly not for me, but I heard something about it as well, like, and maybe Gilan will know better, is like people are doing sped up versions of songs for TikTok or something. Is that right? Like they speed up the songs now, and there's like a speed remix of a song that gets released alongside your single. I'm not really sure how all that works because I'm not on it, but I don't know. I personally would just write what I write, and I wouldn't really. I've got quite short songs anyway, like, so I guess like I've always felt a bit like I have quite a short form of writing because they're kind of pop level writing songs. So that's a kind of hard one to say, but I guess like for me, hip hop's always been a bit longer form, so I would be a bit sad to see that drop down to 2 minutes when they've got so much storytelling ability in the current time frame.
Absolutely. Speaking of that, Petrus is pop-tastic. That's what I'm talking about regarding your last song. And Long Live the Walkman, it's a Jigsaw Tiger. So yeah, it's with regards to your going back to your project, Gilan, with you said EP that you've created. So did you think that an EP was the best way to do it? Did you just were you just happy with those songs, or is this more of a tactical thing of what lots of people do, drop EPs to sort of build the people's more listeners before you go and attempt an album? Or what was the thinking behind that?
I'm not a tactical person. I always tell myself, like, right, you need to sit down and figure out how to succeed in the industry if you actually want a life where you can comfortably create your music. But then the creative side just goes, no, this is what you want to do, create the thing you like, and then I go and do that.
It's interesting because obviously if you ask anyone, and if you ask me, I'm not very good at practicing what I preach. So for me, when I finish a song or a project, what I tend to do with an album project is I give myself a deadline, I book a venue, and I tell everyone the album's out on this date, and then I really rush to finish it. And that's how I finish albums. Otherwise, I would never do it. They just sit there they just gather dust, and I don't do it. But what you should be doing is finishing your thing and then sending it out to radios, podcasts, reviewers, trying to get on Spotify playlists, getting that pre-save button up there for ages in advance so that there's a bit of an algorithm boost when it is released. I am terrible at doing that, but that is obviously the right way to do it. Is that how you've done it, or?
It started out that way. So I had a weird few months and I was like, why am I not writing music? Right, I'm going to write an EP. Told all my mates, I said, yeah, in a few months' time, there's going to be an EP. A few months came and I was like, this is not ready. I pushed it back. I'm like, I actually want it to sound good. This is the first time I actually contacted people in advance before releasing my music. So usually I release it and then I'm like, oh, no one's listening to it because they don't know it exists. So I actually took the time to email and contact as many people as I could. But I still didn't give myself, I think they say you should do it at least a month in advance. And yeah, I'm still working on that kind of forward thinking.
Well, forward thinking, forward fold is the song that we're about to play from yourself in a little second. And yeah, I think a month in advance is quite a good time. It seems like reviewers and podcasts and people like to get an exclusive, so they get to hear it before everyone else, and then they're more likely to write about it because they've got something exclusive to talk about, which seems to be true. But I mean, when I just like right now, I just finished a song on Saturday there, and I think I'm just going to just put it out there, and that's terrible advice. So don't do what I do. Just ignore me. But then forward fold. I'm about to play just now. Could you just tell us a little bit of this song? So I'm so glad you got in touch and you asked, because obviously you've been on the show ages ago. I think it was was it Loud Women special
Yeah.
we did? And
Yeah,
a
it
great
was for
show.
the charity single.
So yeah, absolutely the amazing charity single. But I've been listening to it since you sent it over. It's a fantastic EP. There's a lot of raw emotion in there, and yeah, could you just give us a little intro to what Forward Fold is all about?
Yeah, thank you. Glad you liked it. So Forward Fold is about submission to the fact that you're not okay and not trying to carry everything. So there's a line in there that says, "Goddess unwilling to forward fold." Goddess pose is a position in yoga, and it's like about strength. And a forward fold is a position where it's about just letting go. And the idea is that I was being really stubborn and I didn't want to let things go. And I think that it's really important to sometimes just take a deep breath and go, you know what? Maybe I need a bit of help. Maybe I'm not okay.
Amazing, and it's a brilliant song.
Taking this back all on my own. Goddess unwilling to forward fold. Wound up so tight in all of my woe. I am unraveling, cannot show it. It's in the way I smile at everything, but nothing all at once. It's in the way. Park your bones tonight and make a joke out of it. It could be the last one, so best make it good. Keep moving back to keep our places in the sun, but the shadow's been cast, now we can't both deny it. It's in the way I grit my teeth when you check your first ship's been rolling in. It's in the way it's over, it's over. And I'd like to give you a piece of my mind, but she's in the way. I'll never learn, I am too slow. Swallow too much of what I ought to know. And I did not drown, but did not survive, flailing around in this quarter life. It's in the way I grit my teeth when you check your first ship's been rolling in. It's in the way it's over, it's over. And I'd like to give you a piece of my mind. Right from the off, you knew this was in sight. But I'd like to check if your heart still beats. She's in the way. Taking this back all on my own. Goddess unwilling to forward fold. Wound up so tight in all of my woes. I am unraveling, cannot show it. I am unraveling.
Amazing stuff. Superb. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Oh, hold on, I've got this.
Thank
picture
you.
screen.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So good.
Thank
so good.
you.
And I've put the link in the comments for anyone who wants to check out the EP. Goddess Unwilling is all there. And that was Forward Fold, that song that we just listened to. Jigsaw Tiger saying pure loving the PJ Harvey vibes I'm getting from this.
That's such a massive compliment. I love PJ Harvey so much.
She's incredible. I was lucky enough to see her at Glasgow Green many years ago.
Wow.
Fantastic. Yep, decent. Any gigs coming up, says Ali Grant?
Yes, so they are all in London.
Well, we've got an international audience. You know, we've got people from America that tune in, people from Australia, and people from Coburnie. So it's
wow.
so much.
Cool.
So whereabouts in London are you playing?
So I've got 3 gigs coming up. I've got I've got 2 in Kingston. One at the Grey Horse Ram Jam, which is a really cool establishment. They've got an amazing open mic that's been running for so long, many years. So yeah, the Grey Horse in Kingston. That is this Sunday, the 26th. And then I'm playing on Shoreditch on the 2nd of April. They're doing a whole acoustic workshop showcase. And then where am I playing? I'm playing at the Fighting Cocks in Kingston. I'm opening up for this feminist gig. It's going to be an amazing night called Kingston Riot, which I kind of co-create just to showcase some awesome feminist alternative acts. So yeah, Fighting Cocks, 8th of April.
Amazing stuff. Loads of comments coming in. Stacey Mitchell saying loved that. CJ saying, well, man, that was class. And Petra is clapping. And great voice, fab song, says Mary. So amazing stuff. I've noticed that you on your Facebook you were doing a song a day challenge. Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
So this is where TikTok comes in. When I say I'm new to TikTok, I mean that I posted once a few months ago and I decided no. And then since I got a phone that is capable of dealing with the ridiculousness of TikTok, I started posting and I thought, okay, people who succeed on TikTok post every day, but I want it to be about music. So I'm going to try and write an entire song every day and post a bit of that, post my creative journey on there. And it also helps me, the best artists write loads and loads of terrible music and 1 in every 100 songs will be good. So I want to get writing all of that terrible music now.
That's a very good point. And I think that there is definitely truth to the fact that the more you do it, is the algorithm likes rewards consistency, doesn't it? So if you're doing it, and people start to recognise your face or whatever as well. So that sounds like a good idea. Another thing that I was going to say is that advice that a lot of people will give is doing a cover version of something that you like. Have either of you experimented with doing cover versions of bands that have maybe influenced you? Because I think that there is an element of that kind of tells the algorithm that, oh, if this person likes that, then maybe if you want to do a PJ Harvey cover version, for example, then it might start showing it to PJ Harvey type fans.
I used to do covers when I was really young, but I didn't do it as a sort of commercial selling point. I just did it because I really like the artist. I haven't really thought about doing it that way. Now that you say it.
I don't really do covers either. But I'm not a very good singer, so when I try and do other people's songs, it kind of exposes the weakness in me. What about you, Matt? Have you done any covers in the past? Well, I've actually seen you doing covers before, but have you ever actually officially, or not really officially, but just made a video and put it online?
Yeah, it's funny because I was never someone that did covers, and in between the first and second record, we're like, should we cover a song? Do something different? And we did Suspicious Minds because we'd kind of done it as a bit of a jam at a show, and it went down well. But if I'm honest, I never loved it. I mean, sometimes we get it in the show set, and depends where we are. But during lockdown, to be fair though, just out of sheer getting through the day, I was doing that kind of like singing my way through lockdown thing, and I was just like sharing like a verse and a chorus from songs up here I love, just as more of like a song sharing thing, and like it was really lovely to have people chatting about like the songs we love and the choruses and why we love them, and maybe showed like our audience a different side to the things I'm into. So it wasn't really ever intended to be anything more than just like it's just something to do, and it was really nice to push myself to. But like yourself, man, I never counted myself as much of a singer. It's not like what I was trained to do in anything, so it really pushed my boundaries a bit as well and helped me like be a better singer and kind of a better all round musician. So, and it's funny because at the time everyone was like, "You really should have done that on TikTok," but I just did it on Instagram, and it was just a wee vibe, and like I don't know, like it was just for my own sanity, I think, at the time. Whereas now I'm not sure. Although because we did a cover in between the first record and the second, I'm kind of like, should we be doing some sort of cover between after this record's finished? I don't know. But then you have to pick something epic, don't you? Like,
Well, I mean, I suppose it's just a sort of it's a sort of nice middle ground between, you know, you said you're not really comfortable with putting things in Tupperware boxes, so it is musical. And another one as well that's can be quite good is maybe doing like an acoustic version of a song, because I know you've got a full band. Maybe stripping a song back or getting someone to remix a song is also another good way of getting more content out there. Or the background, you know, like you can
breaking down a song.
Now, I love hearing that side of things. So that's when I'm asking you guys to introduce a song. It's like I'm just very curious about how it came about. What was the idea behind it? What sparked the imagination to create the song, and what was it like recording it and stuff like that? So I find it very interesting, and I think most people who are really into an act will want to hear it as well. Alan Gray is agreeing that you can't beat a good cover with your own twang to it. CJ saying, I need to dart, I hope to see you on Saturday at the Docks. Yes, that's correct. I'll give that a wee shout out. We are going to save Govan Docks, I believe. Where is it? I've not got I'll bring it up later. We're going to save Govan Docks basically on Saturday. It's a free event with lots of cool acts going to be there. The Govan Docks is getting gentrified and turned into flats, and that's a really important community hub. I don't know if it's actually in the Govan Docks anymore. I think it might have moved, but I'll just bring up the flyer for it anyway. It's free. Hopefully it's not raining. It probably will rain, but regardless, it's Gyro Babies, Johnny Safe for CCTV. It's a lot of people from 1 o'clock to 7:30. It's free entry, so come along and support the Save the Govan Docks campaign. With regard, what's the next question? Well, you know what? I don't need to remember, because there is animations that were made at great expense. What is the next question?
You call that radio, more like a TV show.
We asked that one already. Try again.
You call that radio, more like a TV show.
Okay, what works well, but we can also say what doesn't work well as well, I suppose. One thing that I would say that I've noticed as someone who's, you know, at one point was doing a daily podcast, so I was like trying, you know, I was throwing spaghetti at the walls all day and hitting my head off the wall sometimes as well. But it's like if I share a YouTube link right now, so if you share the YouTube link again, to say I was on Mark's show last night, here's the YouTube link, it's going to get very little traction. I think because Facebook sees Google, who owns YouTube, as the enemy. So a YouTube link, unless very certain occasions, special occasions, it might get a bit of traction, but in general, you need to write something like, this is my advice for anyone, you need to write, I was so excited to be on a podcast last night, or I was very nervous to be on a podcast last night, or you need to put some sort of emotion into the spiel, and then in the comments, you put the YouTube link. Also on Instagram, stuff like that, it's kind of designed for a face. So if it's a picture of your face, or any face for that matter, then you can write all about your experience. So like, you know, a picture of someone and then say, I'm excited for my album launching Friday. Just like, for example, if you've got your album launching Friday night at St. Luke's, if you were to share an advert, an actual flyer with all the writing on it and have a ticket link in it, it's probably not going to get much traction as it deserves. Because Facebook's going, here, this guy's selling tickets and we're not getting a cut of the pie. So That's what I've found. Have you any use had any similar experiences like that?
It's definitely hard to predict like what's going to do well. And one thing we have is like a time of day, and we know like we've even in the nature of it, like you're sharing a poster a lot. It's sort of like we've exhausted the posters, do something else, but then we know we're actually getting back to the last few days of posting, so maybe a poster has to come because you need to make sure everyone knows it's coming. I think not being shy to post more than once as well is probably quite a good thing. It's hard for me because I'm not a big social media person, but I do think, like you say, consistency is a big motivator for the algorithms. So having like consistent times and like interactions, probably you should encourage more interaction as well. Like I know some people pose a question, so there's more response. I'm also terrible at doing that. Um, but I found that like very much like replying to all the comments as well helps. I think it's like I was told if you reply to all the comments, that really helps engagement. So um, yeah, I don't know, but I definitely do social media, and it's just me. So it's hard. It's kind of like I know I should maybe do a bit better with algorithms, but I do think you've also got to protect your well-being, right, and not burn out. And it's better to have some like good posts. I suppose like it's really different. Some bands have like WhatsApps now, and they get in the WhatsApp and send it there, or they tell people to go and like and share. So it really depends on like the way you operate, like how it works. And I guess
It's interesting you said that. I started a WhatsApp, what's it called? An announcement chat. So what that means is there's some good points and bad points to that. So I think we've got a couple hundred people in it. It was just on just to kind of let people know, because I know that a lot of people are going on social media detoxes and then they miss a gig and they're like, oh, what? I didn't know about the gig. So it's like giving people another option to find information. So it's probably an easier way it's even easier than doing a mailing list in a lot of ways. And I'd say the pros of the announcement group is that you don't get involved in a chat, because obviously if I started a chat with 200 of my friends, basically, it could get messy very quickly. You know, everyone, oh, hiya, how you doing? And everyone talking. And that's, I mean, I really don't need any more notifications in my life. There's enough group chats going on. There's enough, I've got my phone on vibrate. I remember we used to pay for ringtones, and I've not had a ringtone for about 5 years. I don't like the noises. I don't like being disturbed. I've got a low concentration span. I don't like that. But the announcement group's quite good, because I just say, we are, you know, for example, I just shared yesterday the Building a Spring gig that we're doing, which is this. So this is, we've got Doghouse coming all the way from Cardiff, we've got DOS, and we've got the Twistettes comeback gig, the 20th of April. So I just posted that to the announcement group. I assume everybody's seen it, but they can't like it or respond to it. So it feels a bit weird, because you're like, did people hate me? Have I just annoyed someone and they've just been spammed on their phone? And you don't know, because nobody can respond. All they can do is walk away from the group, which has happened twice. I think maybe 4 times. People have just left the group. But that's my experience of announcement groups, which I'd say is better than starting a group chat. Please don't start a group chat with 300 people. Nobody needs that. What about yourself? Is there anything that you think works well for you or doesn't work well for you that you've noticed?
So I agree with what you said about Instagram and faces. Someone had to tell me that they're like, you're not really posting about your face very much. And I was like, okay, I'll try. Posted my face, and instantly the amount of engagement was way more than any of my other posts. So faces on Instagram is true. I think what Brownbear said about, I keep calling you Brownbear, I keep calling you out today. I'm so sorry. I hope that's all right. But yeah, I think what you said was true about not being shy to post more than once. Sometimes that's how it is. Sometimes towards gig day, people get excitable and they're like engaging with posts about a show that they're going to go to. And consistency, this is me not practicing what I preach, but consistency in the algorithm is very much true. Things that don't work. Oh, another thing that works is actually if you have a close-knit fan base, just messaging the people that you've actually gotten to know and spoken to at the gig and making it personalized if you have the time and energy. So a message a few key people out. I know that they like being reached out to, and just say, hey, are you coming to the show? Just because you know, they are coming to support you, and a lot of them do become friends. So it's just a nice gesture. And even if the answer is no, you know, they feel nice. It's a nice little bit of contact. I think that's a nice touch, and I find that often works. And if they don't come to my gig, at least I get to see my friend at some point. Because it does get hard as an artist. Sometimes you kind of get, I don't know about you both, but I get tunnel vision, and then I come out of it a few months later and I'm like, whoa, I haven't spoken to anybody I know for a while. Whoops. Yeah. Things that don't work is over posting. If you are posting several times a day, every day, that's not going to go anywhere, and you're not going to get much engagement with your post, and all of social media is just going to think you are a spam bot. Don't do that.
Yeah, I've been guilty of being called a spam bot before myself. You can delete, see if you do something that doesn't get engagement as well, you can delete it from your page. So try a few things, so post a few times, and if something doesn't work very well, just delete it and pretend it never happened. The question mark thing's a good idea, because that, when actually we did an album called Who Took Utopia, if I can see it, there it is, it's up the back, we put that in vinyl. I remember the graphic designer saying, oh, it's great name for an album, it's a call to action. I was like, what? That was not what it was meant to be, but there you go. A question that is a call to action. And sorry, Matt, what were you saying there? I think you were wanting to say.
I was just going to say that I definitely agree with Gilan, but I was also going to say that one thing that I found a lot in recently when I've met new people at shows, and I've just said, oh, how did you hear about the music? That people who really come up and they're passionate have said, oh, actually, a mate WhatsApps it to me. And I found that, like, people, now when I see people saying they want to share music, I just say to them, like, well, totally amazing if you share it on social media, but if you can text it to like a friend that you know loves music or would love it, that's better, because that's like a personalised step, and they'll go, because if someone's text me right now and said to you, listen to this tune, I would listen, but if someone posts on social media about a new tune, I would probably guiltily quite often get past it or not listen. I think I'll listen to it at some point. Whereas when someone texts you directly, you go, oh, right, okay, yeah, I'll listen to it, or I'm about to do something, put my tunes on, and so like I can't stress enough when people are saying, people ask me a lot, like, how could we help with your record, whatever, and I'm always just like, just text it to someone, just like, or email it, you know, like a really personal thing to someone else that you think would genuinely like it. It goes a long way.
Just on that point, I've noticed that as well when I was looking at the analytics for where our views come from in YouTube. You know, it tells you external links, it'll tell you it's coming from Facebook or it's coming from Twitter or where it's. And there's been a big uptick in WhatsApp is appearing, which I found quite surprising at first. But I think I figured it out yesterday, because I've noticed recently I've had a couple of videos sent to me via WhatsApp, and it's because obviously Facebook owns WhatsApp. And now if you look at like if I go into anyone's, like if I was to go into one of your posts right now on Facebook, next to the share button, you can click share and it'll say send via WhatsApp. So if you're on your phone and you've got WhatsApp and Facebook, you can easily just WhatsApp it to your friend now as well. So that is actually a new thing. That's a 2023 thing. It definitely wasn't a thing in 2022. So yeah, it's well pointed out. So you can just share it to WhatsApp. And that actually takes us up nicely to the last question, because that is like, well, I'm not going to spoil it because we've got an animation for it. But I think Alex Reid is actually in the wings as well. So Alex, join us for our last question. Alex has got an amazing EP she just released. It's this is the last question. I hope the animations are worth it.
You call that radio, more like a TV show.
That's the wrong question. That was the wrong question. The question was meant to be, how can your fans help you? So it's a thing that, you know, I did a video on it before, which is why your friends don't share your music. I'll put a wee link to it in the comments, because a lot of people get quite bitter about it, but there's multiple reasons why people don't share your music. And then there's also people that really enjoy your music and want their friends to hear it, but maybe it's just because they've never worked in any kind of within music or in any kind of social media sales or marketing of any kind. They're not really sure how the best way to do it. So, you know, in an ideal world, if you could wave a magic wand and speak to your fans directly, and what could they do? The first one you mentioned was you could do the WhatsApp share, which I think is a great idea. It's more personal than tagging someone maybe in a Facebook post. But yeah, Matt, is there anything else you'd like to add to that?
I think that's it. If you could say to everyone just how to help, I'd be like, just pay it forward, you know, like pass it on to one. I don't know, say like pass it on to 3 people, and then they might pass it on. And the other way is just to, yeah, I think to do that, to buy tickets, to buy merch, to just like sharing does help, because like even the social media sharing helps because if you share us and tag us, then we can keep tweeting it or putting it in the stories, and then other people go, gosh, a lot of people are listening to this. A lot, I should maybe listen to it. So I think always engaging, liking, commenting. It's that thing that you see all these YouTubers go like and subscribe, but it's that thing of like if you like and comment and share, it really helps because I guess it feeds that algorithm, right? And it also shows other people that it's been engaged with, and then they think, well, I'd like to engage with it. So, yeah, I think just all of those things help massively. Like they seem like so small in a way sometimes, but they are a huge help. And I know that with this record being out, the amount of people that have shared it and honestly left such amazing comments has just been overwhelming. And now people are coming up to me and saying, "Oh, what a great response the record's had," and that great response to them feels like they've been part of it, which they have because they've been part of sharing that response. So I think all those things definitely help.
Just to add on to that point as well, is I think that a lot of people bring themselves down and they think, oh, if I share it, what's the point? I don't have a big platform or anything. But the reality is that I'm more likely to press something that a friend has shared that they're excited about, especially people that I know that have got good taste in music. I've got friends that have got good taste in music. They've got terrible taste in films and TV shows, and I'll just know not to listen to them about that. But people that really love music, I'm like, they're excited about this, I'm going to play it. And the other thing I wanted to say was that apparently your name appears 8 times before someone will actually listen to it. So if 8 people are sharing or talk about, so maybe somebody says, I'm looking forward to the Brownbear gig on Friday, if they've heard that 8 times in 2 weeks, or they're going to go, oh, right, I'm going to just press play and see what this is. So the more it's mentioned, and then speaking of that, I've put the link in the comments. There is only 100 tickets left at St Luke's. It's a massive venue, and I think a week ago you had 300 to sell, and you were a wee bit nervous. Yeah. But it's all good, mate. It's all good. Even if you don't sell it out, it's a massive success. But let's get it sold out. Let's get it.
Yeah, let's do it. Come on, Trips.
Let's do it. Why not?
Let's do it.
And Alex Reid is about to join us. She pops up and then she ran away again. But would you like to add anything to that? Is there anything, if you could wave a magic wand and ask your fans, what could they do to help you? What would you like from them?
2 things. One, and I should have said this earlier, but I was really feeling shy. What I would ask my fans to remember is that it's Gilan with a soft G. It's just a nice thing that makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside when people use a soft G for my name. Gilan. 2, Gilan, not Gilan. Yeah, right, I was too shy to say. Right. 2, I think just what Mark said about paying it forward and sharing it. I think what's been really nice with this EP is it's gone around the world more than my other stuff. So I've just been watching all the locations and the demographic of people listening, and it's been a small following, but it's been really interesting. I like the fact that someone in Brazil has listened to me. That's awesome. So yes, spread it around.
Absolutely. We've got the comments quickly. We've got nothing. Alex, nothing internet is working for me tonight. I hope you all had a great chat. Sorry. Well, we'll still play one of your tunes before we go into club anyway, because we are about to go at 8 o'clock. We need to go live to Club Anyway, which is a weekly audio-visual live stream we do on You Call That Radio, and we've got the amazing Tribal Pulse on the show tonight. Tribal Pulse is 2 DJs, Luna and Boom Merchant, and I've probably seen them about 10 times in the last year or so. They're amazing. And Pencase will go on the visuals, and it'll be live on You Call That Radio's YouTube channel, only on YouTube at 8 o'clock. Like and subscribe. Only joking. No, I'm not. I am more. Like and subscribe. Only joking. So that's at 8 o'clock, and we'll play one of Alex's songs since she can't make it. Steg has also apologised. He has been stuck in traffic, so he's not going to make it. So we're going to finish with it. But as you seen, I did that last question that came up, which was the wrong button I pressed. But it was, I was just wondering, I'm just curious, how did the I don't know if you noticed there was a bit of a bug going about over the last 2 years. Did you mention the pandemic, lockdown, anything? What was, I'm sure that would have been at the back of your mind when you're writing all these songs over the last year or so. But did you specifically talk about it on any of your material? Or should you just avoid it?
I didn't personally, and I wouldn't, but I rate I rate a kind of poppier style of music, I guess, like indie soul is what we call it. So it's tough, but I just think like for me in general, I don't love when music timestamps something. It takes away the ability for it to be timeless sometimes, and it's not that I haven't done it, but I kind of tend not to do it. I feel like there was a couple of songs during lockdown that touched on lockdown or just after that in the hip hop field, and I thought it was amazing. It was a great reference, but they're able to talk about it in a wider context. Whereas, like, because of the nature of hip hop and having a longer form and more words, in a 3 minute pop song, you couldn't have the nuance that would allow you to want to hear it. And again, like, I don't think I'd love it. I mean, if I watched it in a show and it was that, I think it would put me off the show. I just think we lived through it and it was rubbish. So personally, I wouldn't really want to
Yeah.
live it again.
Well, I agree with that. I did make I made an almost a full album that was time stamped in 2021 called At This Point by Jackal Trades, and it's only like a couple of tunes that actually reference it like head on. But I mean, I certainly don't want to do the songs anymore. But I think what the good point of that is that you've got, you know, maybe in 10 years' time I can look back on it and go, this is what I really thought, rather than making up a new narrative in my head about how I felt about things. So I think it's good from that point of view, but I do agree, you know, being too specific about things is bad. However, history has a way of repeating itself, or what's that famous quote? History doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. It kind of rhymes or something like that. So I think, sadly, you know, if you're writing songs about the anti-government things or anything like that, or you're writing about sexism or anything like that, sadly these things do come back and they do sadly stay relevant. But I suppose if you're too specific and you're especially if you don't specifically mention a prime minister, is what I've learned over the last year, because since they're getting changed all the time. But Gilan, what would you like to say? Have you got anything? Because you were agreeing, I seen you nodding to whatever Matt was saying there about timestamps.
Oh yeah, I think timestamps, but also sometimes pop can be not just pop, but like sometimes lyrics can be too on the nose. I think there's got to be a healthy balance of keeping it relevant enough or vague enough. And I think hip hop, as Mark said, is a great example where they can be direct and on the nose, and it's done in such a beautiful poetic way that it doesn't feel too on the nose at the same time. So it's got to get the balance right, and I never felt confident enough to get the balance right, so I just kept it vague. I never mentioned the pandemic or anything that was happening. It was too and there were so many people doing it as well, which is understandable. People needed to express how they felt about it. There were a lot of feelings, so fair enough, but it wasn't for me.
And Edinburgh Fringe shows as well. Fringe shows as well, and yeah, it feels like it has maybe been done a bit. But I was wondering, like, do you think it even subconsciously affected your writing? You know, is there any lyrics like "I'm stuck in the house, I'm ordering takeaway, banana bread for me," or anything like that? Do you think anything?
I mean, I had a song called "Sign of the End Times." That I think it was a much darker perspective than being stuck in the house. You know what? My partner and I did a cover of "Isolation" by the Mighty Boosh.
Well, I was actually just going to say the word isolation.
So yeah.
As well. Did the word isolation come up? I wish I'd actually worded it that way, because then you could have said, yeah, we did a Mighty Boosh cover. So that's good. How can we hear the Mighty Boosh cover? Where's that?
It is, so we have a occasional fun band. We haven't written anything in 2 years. It's called Gracias Habibi Isolation.
Okay.
And it's on YouTube, maybe, I think.
Okay, can you spell that, please? Gracias.
So Gracias, like
I know that.
yeah, okay. Habibi is Habibi.
Oh yeah, got you here. Isolation, and it's here. Do you know what? I think that's a good way to end the show. I said, you know, I did say we're going to end with Alex Reid, but Alex, you didn't even come on the show, and it's not got a video either, so I'm just going to play this to end it. But we'll get Alex Reid, Steg G. You're welcome on the show next time. I think we actually, Becky Wallace and Texture wanted to come on the show tonight, but I didn't want to have too many guests. So, I mean, I'm glad we didn't have too many, because it was great to speak to both of you properly. So we'll do this again next week or the week after, and I think it's quite a good way of just getting people around every so often, get a few different takes on what's going on in music. And I've learned stuff from you guys, so thank you. I hope everyone who's watching learn some stuff as well. Some comments, timestamps, age, but emotions are universal, says Jigsaw Tiger. Share that cover. We are about to share that cover. And Stuart Graham's in the house, hello. And I think it's always worth remembering that social media, that it's a two-way street. The way to harness more views and clicks is to take time out to check out the people that check you out 100%, and that's Dilemma, who is actually going to be helping us build a spring. It's not been announced yet, but she will be part of the after party. It's because Club Anywhen is going to help us build the spring on the 20th of April. Once the gig at Room 2 finishes, we're going to go to another venue, a secret location for a Club Anywhen in the Wild special. Club Anywhen, before I play that, Club Anywhen is going to be starting in 1 minute on the other channel. I'm just going to put the link here in the comments for you to join us. So if you enjoyed the show tonight, you just want a wee dance, then we've got some crazy visuals and amazing banging tunes happening. It's in the comments here. So that's Club Anywhen. Check the comments if you're on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook. If you're on Twitch, Twitter, or Facebook, please do just go to YouTube in future because it's better sound quality. And yeah, thanks. Yeah, Emma, can't wait either. One more time, Brownbear, album launch Friday.
Yeah.
100 tickets.
Yep, this Friday we're in St Luke's in Glasgow. We've got less than 100 tickets to go till it sells out. We're putting it on ourselves. It's our second record, Demons, which is out now, so you can check it out on all the relevant sites. Check me out on social media. It's Brownbear_official on Instagram, at Brownbear Band on Twitter. And yeah, please do come along if you're in Glasgow. It'd be amazing to see you there. And the band have been working really hard and they sound amazing.
And Gilan, the EP is out now. The Goddess Unwilling. Is Bandcamp the best place, or is it on all the other places?
It's on all the other places. Bandcamp is the best place for me, but wherever's good for you, it should be there.
Amazing stuff. And we're just going to we'll see everyone at the other back on our YouTube channel in a minute for Club Anywhen with the live DJ sets from Tribal Pulse, the amazing Luna. She's warming up alongside Boom Merchant. It's going to be a good one. And this is Isolation, the Mighty Bush cover from Gracias Habibi. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Gilan. And
thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye.
All the things I'll never be. All there is that's left for me is here in this eternity of isolation. Isolation, isolation, isolation.
The cavalcade, the jamboree of life I thought was meant for me. I never dreamed that it would be replaced with this eternity of isolation. Isolation, isolation,
Gracias Habibi. And one last plug for the Sound Speakeasy this Sunday. The Creative Martyrs. In fact, if I've got time, maybe I've got time to present you with, because one of the things that I didn't mention is advertising a thing. You advertise a thing that is Okay. Okay, so I actually should have kept. I should have played this before, right? But the idea is that you do an advert that doesn't look like an advert, so the algorithms don't know it's an advert. This is my advert that I made just before we came on. Beautiful day. As you can see behind me, it's a beautiful day, and we've got just started pop on here to show you what it looks like outside the abandoned ship of the Sound Speakeasy, and to make a big announcement. We've got a new sponsor, Winter Water.
Winter water.
If you don't know what winter water is, it's when you go to the tap and you don't have to wait 10 seconds for it to get cold. It's just instant freezing winter water. And even though it looks sunny here, almost like it's spring, trust me, it's absolutely freezing out here. The winter water is especially freezing. What we've done is we've struck a deal with Winter Water so that you can get free winter water in every tap in Scotland. I'm not sure about the rest of the world, but definitely in Scotland. If you're in Scotland and you're watching the show right now, go to your tap. Turn your tap on. The water that comes out is winter water. Free of charge. As a thank you for supporting You Call That Radio. It's the last of the winter water, so we recommend that you fill it up, put it in your freezer, and sell it back to yourself in the summer when you really need a cold drink.
Winter water.
Winter water, the last of the winter water, this Sunday. So the algorithms wouldn't know that was an advert, because it would just be laugh emojis, hopefully, or angry emojis. But anyway, I've taken up too much of your time. It's time to go to club anyway, and so I've put a link in the comments. We can see that Tribal Pulse is already playing. So it's been Merchant and Luna and Pencase. Go and check it out, and we'll see you over there. Bye. Well.